Okay, this is going to show you how to calculate the average, standard deviation, minimum, and maximum for continuous variables. So you have a different Excel spreadsheet for your assignment, but basically this is what it's going to look like, and you're going to tally up each column. So the way we do this is if we want to know the average age, we're going to go down to the bottom here. And it's very simple. We're just going to highlight all of our columns. And then we're going to go up here to this little sum Greek letter. We're going to click the down and we're just going to get the average. Now you can see the average age is going to be 30 years old. So we can put average here. And that's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So this cell here is now telling us that it's taking the average from B2 to B21. Now this is important because as we calculate the standard deviation as well as the minimum and maximum, we do not want to include B22. So let's now do standard deviation. So SD, standard deviation. Again, I can highlight all of this here. However, this is going to include the average, so we don't want that. So I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second, but we're going to go back up to this sum here. You're going to click on more functions, and then STDEV is your standard deviation, and hit OK. Now, this is where we have to correct it because B22, as we just calculated, is the average age. We do not want to include this. So we're simply going to change this to B21. That way it's only grabbing the 20 participants in our study, and we'll hit OK. Now we have the standard deviation. Pretty simple. So again, we're going to calculate the minimum and maximum. So we highlight that whole column, hit the sum, and we'll do maximum first. Again, if we look here, though, you can see up in this cell that it's going to include the average and standard deviation that we just calculated, and we do not want that. So we're just going to simply change this to cell 21, 21, and then hit enter. So now you can see that max score is the appropriate number here. So let's just highlight, these are what we're calculating here. Now, minimum would be the last one. Again, I'm going to just highlight here, come up here, hit the sum, hit minimum. And if we go to that cell, again, it is including those three that we just calculated. So we need to just go to B21 and then hit enter. And we now have our minimum score here. So for age, the average age is 30 plus or minus 6.4. The minimum is 19 and the maximum is 41. So if we wanted to write that up, we could say this sample, or we could say the average age of the sample is 30. And then plus or minus, you can actually put in that plus or minus sign. I just don't want to do it right now. What did we say it was? 6.4. 6.4. Oops, it said that it stopped sharing. So we type out here, sorry, I don't think you can see this. The average age of the sample is 30 plus or minus 6.4 years old. And then we can do maximum was 40, and then minimum is 19 years old. And that's how we would write it for age. You would then do the same steps to calculate the average, standard deviation, min, and max for the next two columns. So again, that is how you would use Excel to calculate the mean, standard deviation, as well as the max and min.